thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you for having me on your program.
Yeah, so the film is very sweet. I really enjoyed it. It was just genuine, you know.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah, so tell me, how did the project originally come about?
It started back in about 2010, nearly 9 years ago. I'd finished another feature film called WC, which was set in the toilets of a late night jazz bar. And I kind of wanted to get a break from doing features for a while. And I went and I made a short movie, and it was called Covet. And thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's husband, one of the commandments. And I'm not particularly religious, but I just kind of really liked the idea of it. So I made that, and I just really enjoyed 2 days of filming, and that you got, a film, in that short period of time that, was its own story, was its own sort of being, if you know what I mean. And I just thought it's going to be great to make feature films like that. And I've been a huge fan of a lot of the portmanteau films, the anthology films like Shortcuts and Parish and M and all those types of movies. And I just thought none has been made in Ireland, so I thought I'll go and make one of those movies. And I decided to use a lot of stories and ideas that happened to me and to other people. And that's really where it came from.
So it comes from a very personal place in you?
It comes from, quite a well, I mean, some of the stories happened to me, but not all of them. And others to other people that I know, and other ones I heard about. But I kind of wanted to make them about people. So each individual story is about a different person. Yes, they connect with each other in each other's stories, but each story has to stand on its own. And I wanted to give each story an opportunity to have its own sort of life and give it a chance to breathe and not be in a hurry. And I intentionally, didn't really include any technology in the movie because I'm sick of seeing people on their phones and not talking to each other anymore. And I just thought I want to make a movie where people are actually.
Nice, lovely. What was it like acting and directing? And do you prefer one over the other?
Not necessarily. I see myself as a filmmaker, and a filmmaker is somebody who's on a project from beginning to end and may take on multiple roles. Sometimes a filmmaker is just a director, sometimes the filmmaker is a writer-director. But I think that kind of title is for somebody. You can make a studio movie, you can make an independent movie, and you're still a filmmaker. It's somebody who's passionate and obsessed at the same time with the project, and they're there from the beginning to end. I mean, just thinking of somebody like Terry Gilliam and his Don Quixote film. I mean, he kept at it,
right?
So that's what I would see myself as a filmmaker more than anything else. And then, sometimes I'm behind the camera, sometimes in front of the camera. I'm in 7 of the stories to connect them, but I'm only a main role in 2 of the stories, and then I have a support in another, and then I'm just featured in the other one. So it was nice at times to go behind the camera, and other times it was nice to be in front of the camera, and the other actors then obviously also that you understand what they're going through, so you have that sort of connection.
Right. Wow. So I'm curious, speaking about filmmaking, who were some of your filmmaker influences?
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, you may be influenced by filmmakers, but your film may end up nothing like any of their films.
Yeah.
I love Martin Scorsese films. I love Ken Loach movies. I love a lot of a lot of directors today, like John Carney, who did Once. I love Sally Potter, who did Orlando, from the late 80s, early 90s. There's so many different. I even like a lot of Hollywood type pop stuff, where you know what you're getting when you go in if it's done well. I love True Romance, which is one of my films. And that was Tarantino didn't even direct that. That was written by him. Right. And Tony Scott made it, who I thought was a really great director. And very underrated for what he did. So I like lots of different movies as an audience member. As a filmmaker, I appreciate pretty much most of them, even ones that aren't necessarily any good. Sometimes you will get something from them, So, I'd say if I had to pick a director, I'd say Scorsese is probably one of my favorites, even though I don't make those movies and probably never will.
You can try, but
I don't think it's good to try and emulate somebody else.
Right.
You can like their work, you can be inspired by them, but then you have to tell your own stories. And no matter how you do it, no matter how far you stretch the elastic band to try and be something else, it'll always snap back at you.
And this film definitely has its own identity, and it really shines through. And I think that's also part due to the wonderful cast. What was it like casting this film?
It was actually quite easy. I mean, it wasn't too difficult. I'd seen a lot of the actors in other movies, TV shows, and theatre, or I'd worked with them. But I didn't do an open casting on this one, which I've done on my 2 previous features. But just, I had somebody in mind pretty much nearly for every role.
Were you always in mind to play, to be in the film yourself? Yes,
but I didn't know quite, how much I would be in it or how much I wouldn't be in it. I mean, it was only at a later stage, we were halfway through it, that I decided that somebody should connect all the stories, and that it really would be better if the person who works in the lost and found office, where everybody comes in over that one day, and all the people come in then are the main characters of the other stories. I thought that person should really jump more than anybody else from story to story.
So would you say that your character is sort of the glue between everybody else?
Yes, it's the glue. I don't know if for want of a better word. Yes, it's the glue, or it's the tack. Whatever that blue tack is between. But sometimes it sticks and sometimes it doesn't.
Right. Okay. So what do you hope audiences take away from the film?
I think a sense of hope, a sense of, without me sounding like I'm going for Miss World, a sense of community, a sense of friendship, a sense of just, looking out for other people and just maybe not judging people always so quickly. And then just to listen to people as well and to talk, because everybody's so interested in their own lives and their phones and technology, and that they're not really always looking at what's around them. And that's kind of what I wanted from that. Even though there are some happy stories and some sad stories, that you're just going to connect with the stories and the people, because we're not really connected with people that much, I think, anymore.
So you'd say that this film is a commentary on technology and society?
Well, it is now. I'm saying it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of became that when I realized halfway through it that we weren't having a lot of technology, and it kind of became a life of its own. Like, each story is an individual story, but when you look at it as a collection of stories, it has its own feeling and its own spirit and its own sort of themes. And I think even if I was trying to get away from that, it was still, as I said with the last band, it was still going to come back and hit me.
What was it filming? What was it like filming at the train station? Was that challenging at all?
Yes, it was, because the train station was open, was live, that people were coming and going, and we were allowed to film there on the proviso that we didn't interrupt the normal workflow of either the staff, or we didn't interrupt the commuters that were coming and going. So it's a nice challenge. It gives you a sense of life, a sense of manicness, a sense of, as a filmmaker, maybe you don't necessarily see that on the screen. But behind the scenes, you're getting this adrenaline rush, And the Irish Rail Company were just really, really supportive, and they let us film, as was everybody that we filmed in. I mean, probably the most difficult place was the airport to shoot, because, there's only certain places you can go that you are allowed to shoot, and there's so many people. So but it's challenging and fun.
Okay. Aside from the locations, what other challenges did you face on set?
Well, there's always a challenge of enough time. I mean, people always say that time is always the enemy. Time or money, and we had a little bit less of both on this than probably most big budget movies would have. We probably spent on this movie what major movies spend just coffee.
So the film is great. Tell everyone when it comes out. How can they see it?
It's on the 9th of March.
Okay.
It's being released in New York City in Kew Gardens Cinemas. It's also being released in Kew Gardens in New York and Queens. It's also in Albany, New York. It's going to be in Toronto, Edmonton, Calgary, and it's also in Boston as well. And then after that, on the 19th of April, it's going to be in Los Angeles and Long Beach.
Excellent. I actually live in Queens, so I know that theater very well.
Very good. Very good. The one in New York, is it?
Yeah, in Queens, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I hear it's a really lovely theater.
It is. And you know what? If you're ever in Long Island, New York, we'd love to have you stop by the studio for an in-person interview.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks a million, Randy. Cheers.
All right. Bye-bye.